Hello, RAP students. This is Dr. Smith here to talk to you today about geometry. We're actually going to do some 5th grade geometry questions geared more towards types of EOG testing. So let's go ahead and get started, and hopefully this works well for you. If not, you just know that you need to get with your RAP family and your teachers and find some more questions so that you can be properly prepared. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. If you would like to attempt these questions before we do it together, go ahead and pause your screen and you do that. Now, let's go through them together. Question 1, what type of angle is formed by the intersection of Windy Lane and State Street? So we first have to make sure we understand what they're asking. They want to know what type of angle that's being formed for the intersection of Windy Lane and State Street, okay? So we need to know what type of angle it is. We first need to find the streets. Here is Windy Lane. And here is State Street right here. This is State Street. So the angle that we're looking at is this angle. So the first angle they have here is an acute angle. And an acute angle is less than 90 degrees. So this is a 90-degree angle. And it's also called a right angle. And you have to decide if that angle is a right angle, because that's B, or is it less? So it could be anywhere, it can be anywhere between here to here, somewhere along in those lines. Here, anywhere along in there, okay? So you have to decide if that looks like it's less, it's in that range, or if it's a right angle. And then there's the obtuse angle. This is the acute angle right here. The obtuse angle is more than 90 degrees. So here's the 90-degree mark here, but the obtuse angle will be from here to here. So it can look like this, or it can look like this. I hope that's not confusing anybody, just trying to make sure you know what that means. And then there's the straight angle, which is pretty much a line. There's your straight angle. So now we have to decide which one it is. So I would say that it's not the right angle, and it's definitely not obtuse, and it's not straight. So I think we can safely say it's an acute angle because it is less than 90 degrees. It's less than this. It's in this range, like this. So we're going to go with A, that it's an acute angle. Just make sure you understand the difference between all of these angles. The right angle is 90 degrees. The acute angle is less than 90 degrees. The obtuse angle is more than 90 degrees. And the straight angle is 180 degrees. Okay? Now let's go on to number 2. This hexagon, meaning it has 6 sides, 6 points and 6 sides, or corners, I should say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got the right shape here, okay? The hexagon KLMNOP, which side is parallel to side MN? So let's find side MN. I'm going to just do parallel and M side MN. So we want to know which side it is. So I'm just going to go right here so I'll know which side that I'm looking at. Now remember that a parallel Parallel lines don't intersect anywhere at all. Even if you drew it out farther than you see it, both lines, they should not intersect at any point in time. So if this is the line that we're looking at, we want to know which one is parallel. We're going to start with side OP. This is side OP. So if side OP went all the way out, would it intersect with MN? It would. So that can't be parallel, okay? Now, let's look at KP, side KP. This is side KP right here. And if it extended all the way up, do you think that it would intersect with MN? I don't, but we'll hold on to it. We can't say positive for certain that it's the right answer at this point. Let's just keep looking. Side KL. Here's KL. KL actually intersects with MN, so that can't be the right answer. And then there's LM. Here's LM, and it definitely intersects with MN, so that can't be it. So we were on the right track saying that KP did not intersect anywhere with M side in MN, so that means that they are parallel. So our answer would be B, side KP. I hope you guys did a great job with that, and now we'll go on to the next set of questions. All right, here's the next set of questions. If you would like to try them before we do them, go ahead and pause your screen now. All right, let's start with number 3. Which polygon shows diagonals that are perpendicular to each other? So we have to make sure we understand what they're asking us. They're talking about the diagonals, and they want to know which ones are perpendicular to each other, okay? So what perpendicular means for people that need a refresher, perpendicular lines form 90-degree angles like this. So each one of these angles here is a right angle. And this one is, and so is this one, and so is this one, okay? So this is what the lines should look like if they are perpendicular to each other. All right, so let's start with A. Is this diagonal where it crosses and this one, is it perpendicular? Are these sides going to have right angles? Now this is not drawn to scale, but I'm going to tell you when you see it on a piece of paper, it'll be very clear. And in this case, it's hard to tell. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you this is not 90 degrees, any of these. So we're going to mark that off because that won't be an angle, won't be the answer, just in case my drawing is not so great. Here, do you think these dotted lines form perpendicular lines? Maybe, maybe not, because this is my hand drawing and I'm not the best drawer in the world. Let's just move on and look at the other ones. So with the rectangle, do you think that these two lines form a perpendicular line like this one? I'm going to say that's not quite perpendicular. So we're going to mark it out. And now let's look at the trapezoid. Does that look like a perpendicular line like this one? I'm going to go ahead and say no for that one too. So that leaves the rhombus that's here. So we're going to go with that answer. That is the correct answer. Just make sure from this question that you know what a perpendicular line is. Because in this case, that makes this answer very easy. When you see it on paper, it will be drawn so that it's very clear which one is the perpendicular lines. which ones are the perpendicular lines. Now, number 4, a triangle has 2 congruent sides. I'm going to underline that. The perimeter of the triangle is 50 centimeters. I'm going to get that too. Only one side of the triangle has a length of 22 centimeters. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to do one side. What is the length of each of the congruent sides? So they want to know the length of each. That's important. Each congruent side. So what do we know about this? They said that the triangle has 2 congruent sides. So I'm going to try to draw a triangle with 2 congruent sides. And this little mark and this little mark means that these two are equal. These 2 sides are equal. That is actually called an, I'll see if I can spell this right, a isosceles triangle, okay? Now, we know that the perimeter is equal to 50 centimeters. So I'm just going to label these sides A, B, and C. So we know that 50 centimeters is equal to A plus B plus C. Okay? These are the things we know. Now, one side is going to be 22 centimeters. It can't be either of those two because they're the same. It says only one side is 22 centimeters. So down here, I can put 22 centimeters. Let's see. I can do a better job at that. 22 centimeters. All right. Now, we have to find out what the length of this side and this side is. How we're going to do that is we're going to take 50 and we're going to subtract 22 centimeters, okay? We've done that. 10 minus 2 is 8. And 4 minus 2 is 28. Is that helpful? Yes, it is. Now, we just have to figure out, we know that this 28 somehow has to equal to A and B. Well, A and B are supposed to be equal to each other, congruent. So we could probably just divide the 28 in half. So divided by 2, what's the answer? How many times does 2 go into 8? 4 times. So now we know that this one has to be 14 centimeters and this one has to be 14 centimeters in order for us to come up with the 28 centimeters that's left. 50 minus 22 left the 28 centimeters, and 28 centimeters divided by 2 was 14. So each side has to be 14 centimeters. Now let us look at the answers to see if that answer is there. And it's A, actually. We can still look at the other answers. You should always look at the other answers, but we're solving for the length of each side. So each side is 14 centimeters. Here we have 22, 28, and 72. And a lot of those answers are, if you could easily be tricked by the 28 if you're not really on your game. And they even threw 22 in there. So let's go with 14 because of the math that we've already done. And I hope that's what you came up with. If not, definitely talk to your teachers to see if you can get some more problems like these so that you can become better at these. I have one more, and we're going to do one more problem, okay? Okay, our last problem. If you would like to do this problem before we do it together, go ahead and pause your screen now. And now let's do it together. In the figure below, all of the segment lines have the same length. So that means each one of these lines here are the same length. What is the sum of the measures of the interior angles of polygon KLMNO? So the first thing that we can do to help us with this problem, because we have to figure out, we have to add all these angles up. There's angle here, 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 and here. So we realize that this is a triangle and this is a square. This is a square because all of the sides are the same length. Now with the square, each one of these angles are actually right angles. So we already know what this is. This is going to be 90 degrees. We're going to do the square. 90 degrees times 4, which is 0 times 4 is 0, and 9 times 4 is 36. So the sum here is going to be 36. And now we have to do the triangle. This is actually, I'm going to do, the triangle has equal sides, which is a equilateral triangle. So here's the thing about an equilateral triangle. When all the sides are the same, the angles are all going to be 60 degrees. So if we know that, we are going to do 60 degrees. Oop, that's not what I meant to put. 60 degrees times 3. 0 times 3 is 0, and 6 times 3 is 180, which makes sense. The triangle should come up to 180 degrees. All right, so they want to know the sum of all of these. So we're going to add them together. We're going to take the squares sum, which is 160 degrees, and we're going to add it with the triangles sum, which is 180 degrees, and see what we get. 6 plus 8 is 14. Put the 4 down here, carry the 1. That's 1 plus 3 is 4, and 5. And so we come up with 540 degrees. So let's see if that answer is actually over here. A, we have 900. B, there's our 540. C is our 450. We know that can't be it because just alone in here, we came up with 360, and that's really, really close. So we're going to mark that one off. And we have 360, which that would have just been the square, what we came up with. So we know it's not that one. And we're going to mark out 900 because that's way too big. So we're going to go with our answer of 540. That should be your answer. So what I did for KON and KLM is I broke each one of these angles apart to figure it out. However, together they are the internal angle. So if you just add 60 plus the 90, this entire angle will be 150. And the same on this side, 150. So the actual angle here is KLM. M, the interior angle. And over here, I guess we'll call it KNO. That's kind of weird, but we're gonna name them like that. So this is the bigger interior angle. We just broke it apart. So I hope those problems helped you and that you did pretty well with that. If you need some practice, definitely talk to your RAP family and your teachers so that you can get some problems that will help you become better at answering these questions, okay? And like I always say, it's important to exercise your mind as well as your body, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Please be sure to like, subscribe and share this video. It helps us reach more people who could use our help.